And the word craving is very, very important. You know, I hear people today say, well, I came to AA and I craved a drink for 4 years. No, in the context of the Big Book, that's the wrong use of the word craving. They might have needed a drink, wanted a drink, desired a drink. The only way an alcoholic can crave alcohol is to first put it in the body. Then the physical craving develops, and then we can't stop and we end up drunk. So in the recovery section of the book, when you see the word craving, it's always referring to the body, never to the mind. We'll use the word obsession for the mind. The word craving is for the body. If you and I could drink without getting drunk, where would we be? We'd be out there drinking without getting drunk. But you see, we can't do that. That's what we've got in common in the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous, is we can't drink without getting drunk. Now, back in the 1930s, this was the doctor's opinion. In the 1930s, they knew very little about metabolism. Today, they know lots about metabolism. Today, they know that if you put anything in your system, such as a piece of bread or a piece of beefsteak, that the mind and body recognizes what that is. Certain organs of the body begin to produce some things called enzymes. They attack that food and begin to break it down and separate it into usable and non-usable items. What the body can use, such as the proteins, the amino acids, the vitamins, the body will retain. What it can't use, it will dissipate through the urinary and intestinal tract. They call that metabolism. Today, they have proven that the doctor's opinion is no longer just an opinion. It's actual truth. Now, we're going to look at a little picture here for just a minute. And I want to stress that this is not AA information. AA won't get involved into why we're allergic, because that might bring controversy. But this information presented to us a few years ago by members of the medical profession is so interesting and has such depth and meaning for people like us, I think we would be remiss if we didn't look at it. So let's look at it for just a moment. In the center of that picture, there's 9 people there that drink safely. They are at ease with alcohol. They take a drink or two, the mind and body senses it, the enzyme production starts, and the enzymes attacks the alcohol, breaks it down into acetaldehyde, then to diacetic acid, then to acetone. In the final stages, it becomes a simple carbohydrate made up of water, sugar, and carbon dioxide. The water will be dissipated through the urinary intestinal tract. The sugar is calories, energy. Empty calories. None of the amino acids, none of the vitamins, but a form of energy. The body will burn them, store the excess to be as fat to be used at a later date. The carbon dioxide will be dissipated through the lungs. In the normal social drinker, this takes place at the rate of approximately 1 ounce per hour. Now, I know it'll vary with different people, but the average is 1 ounce per hour. And if they don't drink more than 1 ounce per hour, they can't get drunk. Their body metabolizes it and burns it up and gets rid of it at that rate. Very seldom do you see a social drinker drinking more than 1 ounce per hour. If you're with one of them and they're drinking more than 1 ounce per hour, you better get out of the way, because they're going to puke on you after a while. They'll either go to sleep or they'll puke on you, one of the two, every time. The left-hand side is the one who does not drink safely, or is at dis-ease with alcohol. And if you want to use the word disease, that's all it means. Something that separates you from the norm. We alcoholics put it in our body, the same thing happens. The enzymes attack the alcohol, break it down to acetaldehyde, then to diacetic acid, then to acetone. It seems as though in our bodies, the enzymes necessary to complete the metabolism, breaking it down from acetone to the simple carbohydrate, are not there in the same qualities and or quantities as they are in the body of the non-alcoholic. Therefore, it stays in our body for a longer period of time as acetone. It is proven today that acetone ingested into the human system that remains there for an appreciable period of time will produce an actual physical craving for more of the same. The non-alcoholic's body, it goes through that stage so rapidly the craving never occurs. In our body, it stays there long enough, the craving develops, and that demands a second drink. Now just think. You got most of the acetone from the first, now you put that in from the second. The acetone level goes up. And if the acetone is what causes the craving, then the craving becomes harder with the second drink. Now you put in the third. You got most of the first, nearly all the second. Now you put in the acetone from the third, and the craving goes up. And that demands a fourth. You got most of the first, nearly all the second, that from the third. Now you put in the acetone from the fourth, and as the acetone level increases, the craving becomes harder. At midnight, we're laying out in the parking lot. They run over us and broken our leg, and they come running up to us and say, "Can we help you?" And we say, "My God, yes, give me another drink." You see, we're craving it harder at midnight after 30 drinks than we were at 6 in the evening after 2 drinks. That explains to me why I never got enough. Hell, I drank 26 years. I never did get all the alcohol I wanted. I got a hell of a lot more than I needed, more than I could stand, but I never got all I wanted. Because the more you drink, the higher the craving, the more you want, it's just endless. Now, if this never got any worse, we could probably learn to live with this situation. But we know not only do we have an illness, we have a progressive illness that always gets worse and never better. Today we know that as we drink, the more we drink, the longer we drink, the more tissue we destroy. Alcohol is a destroyer of human tissue. And the more tissue we destroy, it seems as though that it acts upon 2 organs of the body first, which are the liver and the pancreas. Now today we know that the organs of the body that produce the enzymes necessary to metabolize alcohol are the liver and the pancreas. And as we drink and as we damage them, the enzyme production becomes less and less. The craving becomes harder and harder, with the resultant drinking becoming worse and worse. We know also that the body begins to shut down on the production of everything as we get older. Now, I wish that were not true, but believe me, it is. I'm experiencing lots of that. If I should take a drink today after 20-some-odd years of sobriety, I wouldn't start where I left off 20-some-odd years ago. The craving would be harder, the drinking would be harder, and the resultant trouble would be harder due to the aging factor. So not only do we have a physical illness, we have a progressive physical illness due to 2 factors, damage to the body and also due to the aging factor. Now that I see that, I can accept the fact that I can no longer successfully drink alcohol. Until I could see this, I knew there had to be a way I could drink without getting drunk. And I damn near killed me trying to find it. But now that I can see this, I can accept the fact that I can no longer safely drink alcohol. Now, if that's all that was wrong with me, and if that's all that was wrong with you, we would pass the hat, get up and go home, and never have to go to another AA meeting. But you see, that's just half of my problem. The other half is right up here in my head. If I never took the first drink, this allergy couldn't hurt me. I have a friend who is allergic to all things fish. Every time he eats fish, his throat swells up. He almost chokes to death. But that's not his problem. The fact that he's allergic to fish is beside the point, because if he don't eat fish, that can't happen to him. But he got something up here in his head that isn't right when it comes to fish. The switch doesn't close, or a light bulb doesn't come on, or something.
He's 3 French fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah. From time to time, his mind tells him that it's okay to eat fish. And he'll eat the fish. His throat swells up. He ends up in a hospital every time. And I'll bet it always starts like this. Well, I haven't had any fish in 90 days. Surely I could have 1 piece of fish. Or it says it's that orange roughy I've been eating. If I'd eat nothing but halibut, it'd be okay. Or it might even say it's them damn people I've been eating fish with. If I just change my crowd, whatever the reason, his mind gives him permission to do so. Now, I'm the same way when it comes to alcohol. left on my own resources, from time to time, my mind tells me it's okay to drink alcohol. Then I take the drink and then the allergy takes over. So the real problem centers in my mind rather than my body. Let's look at the mind for just a few minutes and then we'll be through for the night.